Hi, my name's Bronnie Taylor and I'm your Minister for Mental Health, Regional Youth and Women. I'm really excited to be part of the Mental Moment show that's running today, so thank you very much for having me. I really wanted to start by saying a huge, enormous, massive thank you to all of you out there that work in the aged care sector for the incredible and challenging work that you do, particularly over this past 18 months with COVID-19. You have really been the standouts, and you are that person between someone not seeing someone for a while and being that point of contact, and we really appreciate what you do, and most of all, we really value it. I know it can be hard and challenging work. I was a palliative care nurse and a cancer nurse before I came into Parliament. I do understand the heaviness of your workload and sometimes those enormous challenges. But the difference that you make every single day, by one smile, by one touch, by being able to give someone that moment in time where they can see that you really care about them, you not only touch them, but you touch their families. And that really is a gift, and it is a very unique work. So thank you very much for what you do. But understand too, please take some time out today to just reflect on the great work that you do, and also to take some time out for yourself and look after your own mental health. Make sure you top up that tank, because we need you, we value you, and we really want you to be able to look after yourself so you can look after those that are most vulnerable. Thanks again so much for what you do. Thanks so much for letting me be part of this, and I look forward to meeting some of you and catching up with you all again soon. Have a really great day.
What a great way to start the show. That's the New South Wales Mental Health Minister, Bronwyn Taylor. So thank you so much, Bronwyn. A great message. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Max Marks, and today is Friday, the 22nd of October. Thank you for joining our Mental Moments live show. We're here every day during the month of October, which, as we all know, is Mental Health Month. Got an amazing show for you today. We're about to have music from award-winning country music artist. He's the #1 man in the charts at the moment, Angus Gill. Bronwyn gave us our first message, and we've got more messages coming. We're going to cross live also to Brightwater Group's Birrelly Care Home in West Australia, and to meet the residents and learn about the art projects they've been keeping busy with for Sculptures by the Sea, and of course much more. Right now, don't forget, we're here every day during Mental Health Month in October at 2 p.m. We'd like to thank all our daily viewers who are tuning in every day to support us, while we support and salute health and aged care workers all around Australia. Remember, if you miss a show, you can always watch it for free on demand at our website, www.mentalmoments.com.au. And before we go any further, I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors who have helped make this show possible. HSU, health and care workers, have carried us throughout this pandemic by getting vaccinated and leading the way for the rest of Australia. There's a special thanks. Their Health Services Union is putting up $50,000 to give to vaccinated members. So if you're a health or care worker, make sure you enter the draw today. Just go to the website. That's the HSU website. Thank you for all your hard work. Telstra Health, one of our major sponsors, Hester, Access Pay, Lindt, who are giving us chocolates to give away, Hay House got us books, and Warren Saunders Insurance Brokers. Thank you all for your support. So without further delay, let's get straight into it. First up, I'm absolutely delighted to bring you the very talented, award-winning singer-songwriter, producer, comedian, and my friend Angus Gill. Angus is joining us from his home in Wauchope, New South Wales, and is going to kick off the show today. He's #1 in the charts for his country album, which is called The Scrapbook, and he's #1 in the charts with his song. Angus, big warm-up, big intro. Over to you. How you going?
Very good, thanks, Max. How about you?
I'm good. Just looking forward to hearing you and seeing you.
It's good to see you, mate. It's been a while.
It has.
I thought I might kick things off today with an old song, which the guy that taught me how to play guitar, he used to sing it all the time, and I thought, oh, that's a pretty cool song, even as this, 7-year-old that wasn't quite convinced about country music. And then, I kind of learnt more about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's the type of genre for me. I've always been attracted to the storytelling, and it's an old song originally performed by Leroy Van Dyke called Walk On By. You might know this one. If I see you tomorrow on some street in town, pardon me if I don't say hello. I belong to another. It wouldn't look so good to know someone I'm not supposed to know. Just walk on by, wait on the corner. I love you, but we're strangers when we meet. Just walk on by, wait on the corner. I love you, but we're strangers when we meet. In a dim, littered corner at a place outside of town, tonight we'll try to say goodbye again. But I know it's not over. I'll call tomorrow night. I can't let you go, so I pretend. Just walk on by, wait on the corner. I love you, but we're strangers when we meet. Just walk on by, wait on the corner. I love you, but we're strangers when we meet. And I love you, but we're strangers when we meet.
Well done, Angus. Well done. Thank you. Thank you. I knew that song. Tell me, how have you been coping in lockdown, Angus?
Look, I've actually been keeping pretty creative. I've been writing over Zoom a lot with friends and collaborators over in Nashville, and even here I've just been writing some songs with Diesel for his new album project, and
Wow.
I'm working on an EP project with Eric McCusker, the guitar player and songwriter out of Mondo Rock.
Yeah.
He wrote Come Said the Boy, Summer of '81, and a lot of their hits. And so, look, all of that and also producing albums and single projects for other artists has really been keeping me, just with a purpose to get up each day.
Good.
I think during times like this, you need to have a reason to get out of bed. And if there isn't a project on the go, I always will just create one, out of thin air. And it's kind of what I did with my new bluegrass project. I had a few songs I wrote with a Grammy-winning songwriter, Jim Lauderdale, on my last trip to Nashville, which was just before COVID struck, so it would have been the end of 2019. And then I realised I was interested in recording that song, and then all of a sudden, kind of this bluegrass project just kind of rolled out in front of me, and I thought, yeah, that's the next album I'm going to make. And so creatively, even though it's been we haven't been able to tour, and there's been a lot that we haven't been able to do, I'm an optimist, so I'm always trying to look for the bright side.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Now tell me, I know jazz, I know pop and rock and roll. What's the difference between country music and bluegrass music?
Well, bluegrass is really like usually really, really fast paced, and it's like you're trying to keep up with the train or something. But you can also do slow bluegrass, which is kind of, it's always got this emphasis on the offbeat. It's virtually the best way to sum up bluegrass music is it's a type of traditional folk music. So there's banjo, dobro, double bass, acoustic guitars, fiddle, close knit harmonies, virtually no drums. There's no electric guitar or any electric instruments, even piano or anything in bluegrass. It's just strictly very kind of pared back folk music, and it's often fast. So they often juxtapose poignant lyrics with kind of really bright, upbeat, fast music. And it originated in the mountains of Appalachia over in America.
Okay, see, I'm educating myself on Mental Moment Show by getting you to tell me what's going on. I have no idea. Thank you for being with us today, for opening the show. And will you come back later on? And we want to hear some songs from your new album, which is #1 in the charts, The Scrapbook, and which is bluegrass. Is that correct?
Yes. Perfect.
Okay, we'll see you later on. Angus, thank you so much. Thank you. See you very shortly.
Thanks, Max. See you soon.
Cheers. There's Angus Gill. He's what an amazing talent. Thanks, Angus. Now let's welcome Sean Rooney, who's the CEO of one of our collaboration partners, Leading Age Services Australia, Laser, and we're going to have we'll have a little chat about the organisation and what's next in aged care reform. Welcome, Sean. How are you today?
I'm good, thanks, Max. How are you going?
I'm great. Now, whereabouts in the country are you?
So I'm in Canberra, the nation's capital, Ngunnawal country, and yeah, great to see you.
How is Scott Morrison doing?
He's got a lot on his plate, notwithstanding, trips to Glasgow coming up and all of that. But, we really want to focus on aged care because we know the issues of ageing and aged care issues are national importance. And that's why we're here in Canberra ensuring that all the MPs, all the politicians and decision makers know how important it is that we get this right, that we get it right for older Australians and their families, but also for all the workers and all the services that deliver great care and support for those older Australians.
Now, well, we've got Federal Aged Care Minister Richard Colbeck on the show next week, but tell me about Laser. Who is Laser and what is it that you do?
Oh, we're the largest industry association for providers of aged services. Our members are large and small. They deliver in-home care services as well as residential aged care services and also retirement villages and seniors housing. Our promise to members is we provide a strong voice and a helping hand. So we speak out on behalf of our members on issues of importance to them and to the older Australians that they care for. And we also have a range of services and supports, whether it's training, events, information and advice that we provide to our members to ensure that they're doing the best they possibly can to deliver the best care that is available to the people that they either provide residential care services or in-home care.
Sean, COVID-19's meant a tough 20 months for aged care workers and mental health in general. How do you think the aged care sector has coped during this period?
Gee, Max, this has got to be the toughest time I think any of us have ever experienced in our personal lives, let alone what's been going on professionally for people in aged care. We have staff in my own organisation all around the country. We have members all around the country, and it has been an extremely challenging time that we've had to really pull together to support one another. In many cases, we've seen some tragic outcomes with loss of life and illness and lots of trauma for families, for residents and for staff. And so it's been a challenging time. But through all of that, I think what's really shown through is the humanity of the people in our sector, their willingness to help one another and to pull together, and their resilience in circumstances that I don't think any other sector in this country has had to deal with respect to the impacts of COVID-19. And I have nothing but pride in my heart for every single person that works in our sector and absolute admiration for their ability to get up every day and go to work to do the best possible job they can in really challenging, difficult circumstances, and often with limited resources and supports. But they do it every day, they do it with love, and they should absolutely be applauded. And I think most recently, if you look at the vaccination rates for residential aged care, we led the nation here. We are proud to protect through vaccination not only our own selves and our families, but also the people we care for. It's been recognised by ministers saying yes, that we've led the nation, but also internationally they argue that we're the most vaccinated workforce in the world.
I'll have a double. There's something called Aged Care Employee Day. Can you tell me a little bit about that. Is that possible?
Yeah, look, this is a great initiative of the sector. Chris Marmarellis from Widden Aged Care, a great member of Leading Age Services Australia, kicked this off a few years back, and since then we've been running with the ball. The 7th of August every year is the National Day of Acknowledgement for all aged care employees. It's a day that's grown from strength to strength, where services all around the country have award ceremonies and morning teas and lunches and other events to say thank you to their staff. We have residents and family members providing cards and gifts to workers, not only in aged care, residential care, but also home care, and lots of messages from senior politicians, the Prime Minister and other Australians just reaching out and saying, job well done, you need to be patted on the back for the great work you do.
No, that's a great initiative, well done. I've got this is a question without notice, but aged care reform, what's next? What's going to happen next?
Gee, well, this is the big task ahead of us as a nation. You know, it's not like we haven't been here before with regards to reform. What we need to do is make sure that we deliver on the promise that the Royal Commission afforded us all, and that was, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to fix a broken aged care system, to make sure that it's fit for purpose today, but also for the larger numbers of older Australians coming in the future. Now, we're working very hard with government and other key stakeholders, not only providers, but unions and also the consumer representative groups, to make sure we get it right. This is something that's too important for us not to get right. And, you know, we've got a roadmap. It's a 5-year plan. It lacks detail. It needs more money. But that's why we're in there, to make sure that we make every opportunity to ensure that we have the best possible aged care system for the older Australians that actually need and deserve it.
Sean, we've been getting mental health tips from everybody this month. Have you got a mental health tip for people out there?
Oh, gee, be gentle on yourself. You know, none of us are superhuman. Know yourself, know your limits, and whatever you do, don't be afraid to put your hand up if you feel like you're not coping or you need help. There's lots out there. This is something very important to all of us. We know in our sector, you know, it has passionate people, and passionate people always go above and beyond, and sometimes to the detriment of their own health. And that's what we want to avoid, because we need those passionate people, not only now, but also for the future. So know yourself, and don't ever be afraid to put your hand up if you need some help.
Good advice, good advice. And Sean, thank you for your leadership in the sector and all the work that you're doing and that Laser's doing. It's, I've worked with Nick Way over in Perth, and he's been fantastic, and I thank you for your work as well, and the whole of the organisation. So thank you, and thanks for being with us today as well, Nick.
Great to be with you. Thanks, Max. You're doing a great job. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Cheers.
Stay safe.
There you go. There's Sean Rooney, the CEO for Laser, who helped put this whole show together during this month. So we appreciate that. Next, we've got a message from MP, very famous, Tanya Plibersek. Tanya, over to you.
This is just a quick message to the mighty members of the Health Services Union who are doing so much for us at such a difficult time. To all of you who work in private healthcare, public healthcare, aged care, disability and ambulance, thank you. Thank you so much for the work that you do all the time, but most particularly now as we're facing this COVID crisis. Thank you.
How good was that? Now we've got a very special guest in the studio with us, Dr. Hannah Correll, and she's a neuropsychologist, far more smart than I'll ever be, and we've got some mental health tips. So let's talk mental health.
Hi, thanks for having me, Matt.
It's
nice
great
to be back.
And I'm going to plug your book. Hannah's got a great book out, How to Break Up with Friends.
Thank you.
Is it really about breaking up with friends?
It's about breaking up with toxic friends. So I think we've all had times in our lives when we've had someone who perhaps has taken more time, energy and money than they should have from us, and maybe sucked you dry a little bit. So this is about maybe putting up some better boundaries and stopping those people from really taking too much when they shouldn't be.
It's good. And is it available like at Booktopia and Amazon and all those sort of things?
Right. Yep, all good bookshops on Audible.
It's a real book. How to Break Up with Friends. You need this. Now, talk to me about changing your brain wiring. Talk to me.
So a lot of people, we've been talking about mental health all this week, and you and I were talking earlier about mental health and people who are affected by when they feel sad, when they feel anxious, when they feel stressed. And what we don't really realise is it's more than an emotion. So we're really good at recognising when someone has physical pain. So we don't tell people who have a broken arm to snap out of it. We usually recognise they have that pain and we let them process it and we let them heal. But when somebody has emotional pain, we can't see it. We can't see it in the brain. But actually, the same part of your brain lights up when you have physical pain and emotional pain. The same part of your brain lights up, which means your brain cannot tell the difference between physical pain and emotional pain.
How do we become sympathetic to people in that situation?
Well, it can be hard if you haven't experienced mental health yourself, if that's something that you haven't ever experienced. But if you look back on times in your life where maybe you felt a bit anxious, maybe you felt a bit sad, maybe you felt a little bit overwhelmed or really, really fatigued and sleepy because you have had a bad night's sleep. Imagine that kind of tenfold all the time, where, a person can't escape it. It can be quite difficult and quite hard. And what happens to our brain is very, very good and very lazy. So it likes to make shortcuts, lots and lots of shortcuts. So if a person has experienced some hardship in their life, maybe they had a difficult upbringing, maybe they worked really, really hard in their life, maybe their work was a little bit mean to them, or maybe they had a bit of trouble in love and with family, the brain makes shortcuts to keep us safe. So they build a few networks in their brain, which are shortcuts for helping the brain protect itself. So they start to really quickly see danger and they really quickly feel sad or they really quickly feel stressed. So the way that we help to change that in the brain is by growing some new networks in the brain that help us see positive things and help us see happiness and help us feel safe and protected.
So I've got one for you. Let's talk how to be happy and positive and safe. Talk to me about patting fluffy things. Patting fluffy things. What does that mean?
So
At the moment, Hannah is laughing a lot. She's not answering the question. I don't know why, but we'll get there. Why? What about patting fluffy things?
So, did you know that when you actually cuddle small, fluffy, warm, little cuddly things like a little puppy dog or a little kitty cat, it actually makes your brain release oxytocin and serotonin, which is the happy pills, the happy feelings that we experience when we have a baby or have a cuddle or with someone that we love. It makes our brains produce those particular types of neurotransmitters that make us feel good. So when you are patting your cat or when you are walking your dog and seeing other puppy dogs and giving them a nice cuddle, that's making your brain release things that make you feel happy and stable and well. So a really great happiness hack is having pets. And if you don't have a pet, it's getting access to somebody else's. So maybe when you go for a walk next time, you could set yourself a challenge and see how many dogs you can pat in 15 minutes. How many can you do? My record is 6.
But what about, for children, if they haven't got a live animal, and I guess for adults as well, do teddy bears and things like that count?
Yeah, I mean, it can be cute things that stimulate that part of your brain, the cutesy side of things. But I mean, a good hack for it is if you don't have your own pet because you can't in your apartment or in your home just yet, when you go for walks, how many people have dogs? Walk down in Bondi Beach.
I must admit, I don't actually notice a lot of people having dogs when I go, but I believe you that they do. And they don't
use other people's dogs. You can use other people's dogs and other people's pets and this is the challenge that we're setting for Mental Health Month in October. When you go for a walk, every time you see a dog, set yourself a 15-minute challenge, and every time you see a dog, you have to say to the owner, "Can I please pat your puppy?" And give that puppy a little pat, ask what his name is, and you will actually notice that you feel better.
And if they bite you, well, that's your problem, right?
Always ask for permission, guys.
Always ask permission. Talk to me about the paradox of choice. What's the...
Yeah. So the paradox of choice is an idea that was formed by Barry Schwartz, which is this idea that in our society we have so much choices, we have so much opportunity that it can actually be quite debilitating sometimes, where we feel the pressure to get the right choice, to do the right thing all the time. So when you live in an abundance of opportunities, the pressure is on us to pick the right thing. So think of it like going into an ice cream store. If you walk into an ice cream store and it has 100 different flavors, you can think of that like, wow, I've got so many flavors of ice cream. But sometimes our brain is wired for the negative and thinks, oh, that's 99 opportunities to make the wrong choice, because there's too much choice. So people start to get choice overload, where they feel stressed out about the idea of making the right choice.
What's your favourite ice cream flavour?
Rocky Road, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think my favourite's Baskin Robbins. They've got this chocolate peanut butter one, which I really enjoy. Talk to me about helping others.
So helping others, I mean, obviously I'm a neuropsychologist. It's one of the things I do all the time, and I think
help others all day long.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we should talk about burnout at some point. But helping others is a really nice way of getting your brain to light up with that altruism feeling. So some researchers have found that when a person works in volunteer roles, when they help other people, their feelings of happiness actually increase, because they're doing something that helps them feel like a good person who's giving back to society. So it actually changes your brain when you help others. And for Mental Health Month, if you have a friend or a family member, or maybe even a work colleague who you've noticed might be a little bit sadder than usual, quieter than usual, a bit more withdrawn, that could be a sign they're feeling a bit of stress. So a great way of helping that person is just sitting with them, asking them, hey, how you doing? What's going on for you? And resisting the urge to give that person solutions. I think that's where we get tripped up. When we're listening to someone and we're trying to be there for them, we often slip into solution mode, especially men. They can sometimes slip into solution mode. And really all that person needs is to have someone sit with them in that dark space and listen. So don't feel like you have to give someone a solution or an answer. Just sit with them, listen, reflect the feeling. That sounds like you're having a really tough time. Sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed. And paraphrase to them, which means saying what they said to you back to them. So you're telling me you're working a lot, you're not taking any time off. Sounds like you're feeling very tired. And that basically helps the person process their own emotions and feel a little bit more heard. You don't need to give them a solution, just sit with them in that place so that they feel a little bit less lonely, and that will do the world of good.
During COVID, you obviously have people come and see you. I mean, that's what you do for a real life, your real life job. And do they come in face to face, or do you do it online? And what do you do when you have a session with somebody?
So if you want to maybe do a session with a psychologist or a neuropsychologist, it's actually, people get a little bit scared and a little bit nervous. What's she going to make me do? Do I have to lay down on the couch and talk about my dreams and my mother? No, that's not what you do in psychology. So all you do is you pop into maybe the office, or perhaps it's on telehealth because of COVID at the moment, and you'll meet somebody like me or somebody else who, maybe a man, a woman, someone a little bit older, a little bit younger, and they'll just say hi. They'll let you know who they are and what the session is about, and you have a chat. You let them know your goals, and you just start talking. A little bit like what you and I are doing now.
Okay.
But with a
so this is like a session in front of everybody, I guess.
I'll send you the bill in the mail.
That's really nice of you, thank you.
But it's a lot less scary than what people think it is. And you can pick your psychologist too. So you can pick somebody who you really gel with and who really resonates with you.
So like Dr. Phil?
Like Dr. Phil.
Is he a real psychologist, by the way, Dr. Phil?
I think he was a psychiatrist, but I don't think he's currently registered.
He's now just... And Oprah, she's definitely not a psychologist.
No, Oprah is not a psychologist, but she is good food for the soul.
But if you finish up on the couch with Oprah and then you jump up and down like Tom Cruise, you don't know if you've had a good session or a bad session. Yeah,
that might be. If you're jumping up and down on your couch in your psychology session, it was either a really good session or maybe a session you need to review.
Why does our brain make us feel sad?
This is a really good question. So it's not because it's being mean to you, is my short answer. Your brain is not being mean to you by making you feel stress, anxiety, sadness, or depression. And most people, when I say, list some positive emotions, they'll say happiness, and I'll say, list some negative emotions, and they'll say sadness. There's actually no positive or negative emotions. They're just things. They're just things that we feel. Your brain is wired to protect you from danger. So we talked a little bit about fight and flight earlier in the week, and that's how your brain protects you from danger, from burglars or fires or any emotional threat that might be coming after you or hurting you.
Or if your child if you're a child, if the Hamburglar came along and stole your beef burger, that would be a real problem.
Absolutely. You hear of those mothers with suddenly have superpowers and they lift the car and they pull the child from underneath the car. That's your fight and flight kicking in, giving you lots of adrenaline, lots of cortisol, and making your body pump out lots of energy so that you can save yourself or save your loved ones. So it's there to protect you. It's there to keep you safe. It's not there because it doesn't like you. It's there because it's trying to keep you safe.
So explain, why is your brain, or how can your brain be your superpower?
Yeah, so what this basically means, if we have this inbuilt part of our brain that sends a little alert, like a little awooga, alert, 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 when something is not right, that is your superpower. That's your warning system, your alarm bell when something's not right, when you're feeling unhappy. And that's your signpost and your signal that maybe you need to have a little sit down and a quiet reflection of what might be making you feel down in your life, and listen to that feeling, talk with that feeling, write to that feeling, journal about that feeling, and ask yourself, what will make me happy in the long term? And that's an exercise that we all need practice in, which is listening to what is in my best interest that makes me happy for the long term. So what makes you happy deep down? That's a skill some of us need to practice actually listening to.
Hannah, I've really enjoyed this. No, seriously. And before we go, this whole month has been all about caring for the carers in our community. So would you have a message you could give to the carers out there? Is there one super mental health tip or two that you could give to the carers in our community who are looking after the elderly members of our community and making their lives, because they're putting their lives they're on the front line every day looking after them. What's that message, please?
Yeah, I mean, I love that you guys are taking the time to care about these things. So, I mean, we're talking to you right now, the carers of loved ones, the family members who take care of loved ones, the people who bend over backwards, get up early, don't take their lunch breaks, work late in the evening, work on the weekends, and are just constantly giving. It is beautiful and kind, and what you do is a gift, and you need to be careful with that gift, because sometimes when you give too much, you actually burn out. And if we lose you because you've burnt out, we can't help anybody, and you're important as well. So the most important message I can give is to take care of yourself, set up those boundaries to keep yourself safe, and believe deep down that you are actually worth having a break, and you are worth putting yourself first and taking care of yourself. It's like they say on the airplane, put your own oxygen mask on first. And that's really important principle to live by, because it means you can keep helping yourself and you can keep helping others. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and we are sending you all of our love.
You're so good. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Hannah Corrill. And she's the author of How to Break Up with Friends. So if you want that book, go to Booktopia, Amazon, wherever you buy your books from, or even local bookshop. How to Break Up with Friends. And we'll be back in a second. How good is that? She's a great, great person, Dr. Hannah Corrill. Thank you so much. Now let's cross from Sydney all the way to Birrelly in West Australia. Can you hear us, Birrelly, West Australia? We're going to talk to Brightwater Groups. Is that Andrea or Andrea?
Andrea.
To Andrea King. She joins us to talk a little about the artistic pursuit of the residents. Hi, Andrea. So lovely of you to join us. Tell me, what's the Sculptures by the Sea? It originally started, I think, I know it started in Sydney, in Bondi, 20 odd years ago. But it's just as popular in West Australia. Only our two cities hold that annual event. Tell me more about, do you go to it? Have you seen it a lot?
Yeah, look, it's a fantastic exhibition at our beautiful Cottesloe Beach. We're very, very lucky in Perth with our sunny, gorgeous weather and our beaches. And this last summer, we had the amazing opportunity to take many of our residents in our aged care homes to a curated visit to the Sculptures by the Sea. And as a follow-up of that, we have some of the Sculptures by the Sea artists come and do some artist in residence sessions, if you like, at our homes. And it's just amazing. You know, our therapy assistants lead a really fabulous community access program, because we're all about getting our residents out and about doing things they used to do, or trying new things, such as doing this artist program. So we really, really celebrate it, and we're very fortunate to have such amazing therapy assistants and care staff who really put our residents forward and make sure they have a really wonderful experience in their lives, living their best lives, even as a residential aged care client of ours.
I think it's fantastic, and we did a live cross recently to tape some stuff, and we've got a clip now which we'll show to everybody that shows the residents creating their own artwork and being inspired by German sculpture artist Henning Meeves, who I had a chat with as well. So let's have a look at that, shall we? We can see what the actual work's all about. Hello, Laurelie. How are you today?
Hello, Mac. We're really good.
That's the way.
We're here at Brightwater Redcliffe today, and
Yes.
we're a wonderful workshop with some of our aged care residents here.
Fantastic.
And I wanted to introduce someone. I've got Henning Reeves here with me, and he is a sculptor who exhibited at Sculptures by the Sea here in Perth earlier this year. And a lot of our residents actually got to see his sculpture down by the beach in Cottesloe, and he's come back to do a workshop with them.
Fantastic. Henning, tell me all about your life. How did you become a sculptor?
In the first place, I started out as architect, and after I found that a bit repetitive, I then started to do sculpture.
And what was your first piece of sculpting you did? Was it like a head, or was it an abstract piece of art?
It was a chair.
A chair. Okay. How big was this chair?
It was a chair that rests around the tree. You can still see it in Cottesloe, actually.
Okay. Was it a three-legged chair or had all four legs on it?
It's a proper chair. I can only encourage everyone to go there and have a look at it.
Okay, that's fair enough. And now, when you create your works of art and sculpting, do you do them by order from people? Do people commission you to do pieces of work?
No, we generally do work by commissions. We do our own work and then exhibit, and then hope that someone likes it.
Okay.
That's how we work here.
And what's the largest piece of sculpting or sculpture you've ever done in your life?
I think that would be about a ton and 3 meters high.
Wow, wow. And have you ever been inspired by people like Michelangelo and Henry Moore?
More by nature. I find it very interesting to see the landscapes here in Australia. I wasn't born here. It's one of the things that impresses me.
Yes.
And I think a lot of inspiration is from the landscapes and from the cultural diversity.
And where were you from? Where are you from originally, Henning?
I'm originally German.
Okay. And do you go, when you travel the world, are there certain pieces of work that you love, Rodin, for instance, and other artists?
Well, before COVID, we would have quite a frequent interchange with artists from Europe. But now with COVID, it's WA, isn't it?
Of course. And tell me, what will you be doing with the residents at Redcliffe today?
We made flowers. We made flowers from clay. I don't know. Perhaps I can show you one.
Please, love to see them. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Clay
This
flowers.
is one of the residents' works.
Beautiful.
And they will color this in later on, and then can keep it in their rooms. Because flowers are so important in our life, and that enables them to think about moments where they gave flowers, they received flowers,
Yes.
and perhaps recall a few memories and work them into their little sculpture.
And so you make it out of clay, and they'll all be doing that. And then do you leave them out in the sun to dry, or do you put them in an oven to bake? Explain how that process works.
It is a specialty clay that doesn't need any firing.
Yes.
It needs to dry about 2 days, and then it is firm enough that they can paint it.
And then do you come back again and do the painting with them?
No, we will not be back for the painting, but there are occupational therapists and there are wonderful people here who are working with them every day who will do the painting.
Amazing, amazing. And if you get the chance, if you're lucky enough or if you want to go, and you went back again in, say, a couple of months' time to do another session, what would you do flowers again, or would you progress to something else?
I think I would make a different theme, because we chose the flowers due to spring and they're out everywhere. Perhaps in summer or in autumn, we would choose a different theme then, but always where people can relate their own biography to.
Okay, so because we've got lots of people watching all over Australia at the moment, and we can't obviously get you to all of them. So if you're going to give us a quick lesson on, if you want to do this at home, or you want to do this at your facility, what do they need to get? They've obviously got to get some clay, correct? Any specific clay?
Yes, you just get some clay. You form a hamburger patty from clay about that size.
Yes.
You get the right clay for it, and then we use all objects that we found.
Yes.
Really. I can show you a few, like nails,
okay,
broken off forks, some nature things, pine noodles, Lego, whatever you find, and you use that to make your flower that then in the end looks something like this.
Amazing, amazing. So all over Australia the next few weeks, there'll be a shortage of clay, right? As people like, and then there'll be a lot of mess in various facilities around the country. And then leave it outside to dry for a couple of days. Is that the next step?
And then the next step would be just to use some paint, depending on the skill level, if you do it with children, perhaps even some finger paints, because of the relief nature of it. It's very easy to paint it with finger paints. And if you have better skills, you can use paint brushes or anything, really.
And specific paints? Any specific paints?
Not too wet. I wouldn't use water paints. Perhaps in acrylic paint.
Yeah.
But the aim was to find something that you can do with someone who has good skills and someone who perhaps has less skills to do it, so everyone can really have a go. And it is quite simple, and the outcome will still be unique.
Fantastic. Henning, have you got a website?
We only have an Instagram handle. That's Meeves Molloy. And it's always great if people look at it.
How good is that? Just lovely. Clearly, Andrea, the residents love the programme. How long have you been running that at your facility?
This is an initiative that we've just done this year, but we have, as I said before, we do have a community access program that reaches all of our residents, and we encourage our TAs to be really innovative and find really exciting and interesting programs that our residents can be involved in outside of their home, so out in the community. So Sculptures by the Sea has been around for a long time in Perth, and it is super popular. So we'll be getting our residents back there again every summer while we can.
You've inspired me to go. I haven't been to Sculpture by the Sea here in Sydney for a little while, but I feel like I need to go again, and maybe I need to do some finger painting as well. I think that's a good idea for me.
Absolutely.
Look, thank you so much for joining us at Mental Moments. Congratulations on a great initiative. You really are doing a terrific job. So well done, and congratulations to you and all your team.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, I think it's time for another song from Angus Gill, or three, maybe, if we're lucky. And then after you, we'll go to another aged care village for the day. But Angus, what are you going to sing for us now? What are you going to do for us now?
Well, I'm going to do a few songs off the brand new album, The Scrapbook. The songs that I know, I was telling you before up here, that it's been probably since March when I played a gig, so I've had no incentive to learn my own songs. So I thought I'd play a few of the ones that I actually kind of know. And look, I've got a bit of a friend here. This is Lucy.
I was just thinking that. Is that a talking dog, a singing dog, Angus?
When we go and visit my nan, who's in a nursing home, we always bring Lucy because she just has a way of cheering people up. So I thought I'd let her have some airtime today.
Look, we all love to see a dog on the Mental Moment show. We've had loads of animals here, apart from me being a monkey, right? So we thank Lucy for being with us. Now she's gone off to do a wee-wee in the corner. I hope not.
Here you go. Up there. Yeah. All right. Otherwise, she's trying to attack my socks. So.
Of course she is.
I'd like to play a song off my new album called Feet of Clay, which I actually had the chance to play on the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee, back in 2019 with Charles Eston, the star of the TV show Nashville and recently Outer Banks on Netflix. And so this is a song that kind of describes a father and son relationship and how that can change and evolve and almost become a bit strained over time. It's a song called Feet of Clay. We haven't found much common ground, my old man and me. We don't speak of that cliche about an apple and a tree. Both of us have said some things that cut a little deep. Now we keep it on the surface and agree to disagree. Well, it wasn't always like this. We used to get along just fine when he taught me how to ride a bike and how to cast a line. We went everywhere together, his hand holding mine. But slowly I let go, and something faded over time. Once he was my hero, then he wasn't cool. Once he was a genius, and then he was a fool. Maybe he ain't either, maybe that's okay, for a man to walk around on feet of clay. Yeah, now I'm even older. Yeah, the boy's become a man. Started comprehending things he didn't understand. Like how the life you live don't always turn out like you planned. The father's only trying to do the very best he can. Once he was my hero, then he wasn't cool. Once he was a genius, and then he was a fool. Maybe he ain't either, maybe that's okay, 'cause we all walk around on feet of clay. If I have a baby boy, I'll name him after him. Yeah, and I might be the perfect dad, but the odds of that are slim. First I'll be his hero, then I'll be uncool. Yeah, I'll be a genius, then I'll be a fool. But I may not be either, that'll be okay, 'cause a son still loves a father anyway. And even though I'll walk around on feet of clay,
That was so good. That was a beautiful song, Angus. Beautiful.
Thanks, man.
You going to do something more from your album for us, please?
Yes. It's the KFC coming up earlier on.
At least you got fed. What did Lucy have? What did Lucy have?
Oh, Lucy, she got nothing because otherwise she throws it up. So she can only eat dog food.
Fair enough.
We realised the other day that we've got an epileptic dog. She was she was doing all these fits and we didn't know what was happening. So now I call her my hectic, neglected, eclectic, epileptic dog.
Well, that'll be your next song, won't it? That could be a Christmas song, you know.
That's it. Yeah, I'd like to play a song actually that was on a few albums ago because I know this one, so I can play that. And it was actually a bluegrass track that was on my album Welcome to My Heart, which was up for a couple of Golden Guitar Awards. And this is a song called Fly on the Wall. Here we go. If I were a fly on the wall, I'd hear what you were talking while you were walking down the hall. You pull away when I try to touch you. Out of nowhere, you just stop and stare. Sometimes I wonder just how much you even care. If I were a fly on the wall, I'd hear what you were talking while you were walking down the hall. Well, I wouldn't have to wonder about anything at all if I were a fly on the wall. Seems like it's always 7:30 when you come walking through the door. To me it's always such a pity, 'cause you knock off at 4. And if I were a fly on the wall, I'd hear what you were talking while you were walking down the hall. Well, I wouldn't have to wonder about anything at all if I were a fly on the wall. Seems like you bought a brand new sweater. Sure looks good with them low-rise jeans. You think I don't know any better, but I know what that means. If I were a fly on the wall, I'd hear what you were talking while you were walking down the hall. Well, I wouldn't have to wonder about anything at all if I were a fly on the wall. Yeah, I wouldn't have to wonder about anything at all if I were a fly on the wall. If I were a fly on the wall.
Well done, well done. You got one more for us to finish off with?
One more. Oh, okay. What do we do? Have you got any requests, Max?
Well, I was going to say to everybody watching, Angus doesn't remember all his songs. He's written 4 albums. He's only 23, but because he hasn't performed since March, you don't remember all the words. Is that correct?
No, I literally don't remember the words to my own songs, and because I write so many songs, like I'll probably have written close to 100 songs this year, and I've produced a lot of albums too. So I've been so busy playing on other albums and writing other songs and there's been no incentive to practice my own songs because there's no gigs coming up. So, it's not my first show, apart from playing a few songs here. My first show will be a Christmas show in the middle of December. So I've got something to work towards. But when I was in this predicament last year, I spent 3 weeks going over my own songs and kind of familiarising myself with them. So that's the crazy thing about COVID, because as entertainers, where we're kind of going from the one gig to the next, to the next, to the next, we never stop, and so therefore we don't really have to work hard, trying to practice in between shows, unless of course it's a new show. But it's almost like you're treating all the old songs as new songs because, trying to get into that groove of practicing again.
Well, I'll give you a choice. You can either do Willie Nelson's On the Road Again, or you can do your song you did at the Great Christmas Sing-Along about the socks.
Socks.
Sorry?
You can either do Willie Nelson On the Road Again, or you could do your song about the socks that you did at the Great Christmas Sing-Along.
Oh, yeah, okay, all right, I'll do that one. No time for sleeping in, Dad and Mum. It's time to get up and have some fun. While you were snoring, Santa came a-calling. Under that tree there's gifts for everyone. Santa seems to write, Mum, just like you. He's left some spare wrapping paper too. Santa's bickies were a hit, but there's crumbs, Dad, on your lip. The sun is up, we got something to do. Gather round, it's present time. That one's yours and keep your hands off mine. Pile, shore, a mountain, everyone's still counting. Jocks and socks and lots of hats. Last I got that cricket bat, we've left the past behind, it's present time. Who's that poppin' and a rap? The door knock knock. Right on time like every time before. And I wonder what they're packing under last year's wrapping. Another bum bag from that old $2 store. Gather round, it's present time. That one's yours and keep your hands off mine. The pile, shore, a mountain, everyone's still counting. Jocks and socks and lots of hats. Last I got that cricket bat, we've left the past behind, it's present time. Jocks and socks and lots of hats. Last I got that cricket bat, we've left the past behind, it's present time.
Jocks and socks and lots of hats. At last I've got that cricket bat. I could sing along with that one. Thank you so much for your time today, Angus. I really, really appreciate it. We all appreciate it. So thank you for being on the Mental Moments show. Hopefully we'll get to see you at the big Christmas sing-along. And looking forward to getting you out on the road and seeing you live.
Thanks, Max. It's always great fun, and hopefully I can, because I've just written a whole EP's worth of new, slightly humorous Christmas songs. So we were going to have that out this year, but the timing was a bit tight with COVID. But yeah, can't wait to share those as well.
Looking forward to that. Angus Gill, superstar, award-winning and top of the charts at the moment. Congratulations on your success this week as well. #1 in the album and singles, so that's fantastic. Congratulations. And we'll see you again soon.
See you.
There you go, Angus Gill. And next we're going to go all the way to the Royal Freemasons Residential Village, Monash Gardens in Mulgrave, Victoria, where they have come up with a swathe of amazing activities during COVID. It's been important to lift the spirits of both staff and residents during lockdowns when family members have been unable to visit. So they've been doing personal training sessions for staff, a monthly glam day for residents where staff members volunteer their time to colour, cut and style residents' hair, as well as having residential manicure sessions. They also have an amazing Zen Den where staff can take time out. To hear more about this, let's have a chat to Liz Adepojo. Liz, are you there?
Yes, hi Max, thanks for having us.
Did I pronounce your name correctly or not?
It was close, Adepojo.
Thank you for correcting me. Now tell me, Liz, tell me about the Zen Den to start with.
So the Zen Den is an initiative that we implemented to give our hardworking and dedicated staff members a quiet space to get their Zen on. So it has been a hit, and a lot of the staff and the residents have actually been using this space to go to utilise some of the applications, so to take themselves through some guided meditation. We also have a lot of staff members of different religious faiths, so it's a great space for them to be able to pray. And we've got some really great things in there, including a massage cushion, which has been a hit, and sometimes staff are fighting over it. So it's been a really great space for staff to be able to, reflect and just tune out.
So, Liz, is it a quiet space, or is there Zen music? Is there any sort of meditational music playing or anything like that?
Well, it depends on what the staff or the resident wants to do. So we do have an iPad in there, so they can play music, and we do have a little radio for them to play quiet, relaxing music, or they can just simply just sit and have some quiet time. Read a book as well, as you saw in the video. It's just their space to be able to have some time out. Particularly over these challenging months, the staff have really appreciated having a space for themselves.
I love that little mini rake in the sand. I could play with that all day long. It doesn't take much to entertain me, I promise you.
It's very popular.
And tell me, what other initiatives are happening for both the staff and the residents during these challenging times?
So Monash Gardens has a very active lifestyle program. As you mentioned, throughout lockdown, we've had a lot of staff members come in on the weekends to volunteer. Our admin officer, Cherie, has been our interim hairdresser. Yeah. So the residents haven't missed out on getting their hair done, because that is essential. And some of us have also put our manicuring skills to the test and painted residents' nails, shaving some of our men, giving them a number 2 haircuts, and also giving them a good shave. So the team have been absolutely brilliant with supporting the residents physically and mentally during these challenging times. So we're very lucky at Monash Gardens. We really are a community that have leaned on each other, and the Zen Den is one of the great things for staff, but we've also, we are about to kick off our personal training. So we've got a wellness program starting next Thursday. Yes. So one of our staff members is a personal trainer, and we'll be doing group sessions with staff for free. So we are very excited about that and about getting back into shape for summer.
Yeah, we've all got to get back into shape, very important. Now, tell
Yes.
me, I've been asking everybody on the show who comes on to give us a mental health tip. May I ask you for your personal mental health tip, or a tip to give to everybody else?
Yes, so my personal mental health tip is to always take some time out and check in with yourself. I know in these challenging times, especially in aged care, I feel like our staff members are so committed to looking after other people. But I think it's really important to be able to look after ourselves, take some time out to reflect and regroup. and just to be kind to yourself. I think it's been so important over the last 20 months to really be kind and be patient, and self-care.
My mental health tip is eat as much chocolate as you can. I think this is a very important thing to make you happy, and I abide by this religiously every day. And since Lindt is one of our sponsors, I've been supporting them tremendously. More Lindt balls, the better.
Yeah. Yes, definitely lots of chocolate. But we have a lot of activities that our residents are currently engaging in, so we would love to also share some of the exciting things that our residents are doing to keep themselves occupied during COVID. That being said, it is Freedom Day here it's Freedom Friday in Melbourne. So there's lots of excited people and great energy around, but we would love to share some of the activities at the start that the residents are doing currently.
Go for it.
Let's put my mask back on and take you around.
Thank you. You've just joined in. We're at Monash Gardens. We're all Freemasons based in is it Mulgrave, Victoria?
So here, Max, we have our residents engaging in the Knit and Natter group, which is a very popular group that happens every week.
You can see me waving, but I'm waving anyway. That looks fun. Hi, everybody.
Wave.
Hi, everybody. Good to see you.
And we've also got the men outside in our lovely gardens working on some planter boxes. So I'm going to hand you over to Trish, who's our Lifelike coordinator, and she's going to take you through to what some of our lovely men are doing.
Thank you. Trish, we're following you. Thanks, Liz.
Okay.
Thanks, Liz.
Hi.
Trish, we're following you outside to see what the men are doing.
We are.
It's okay. We've frozen, but it looks good. We can see them all there. Lost the signal.
So we they are in the process of varnishing the pieces of wood. Then we're going to make planters for the home.
That's so good.
So they would prefer to have Beyond Tools, and we try and do that as often as we can. And we've been blessed with a really great day, so we were able to varnish outside because it gets a little bit smelly.
And we can say that the varnish does get a bit smelly, but that'll in the outside that'll heat it or dry it quickly. Lost them again. It's okay. We don't mind. We'll catch up. It's coming soon to a television near you, the Mental Moment Show, and we're varnishing at the moment. Okay, well, Liz, Trish, thank you so much for being with us today, and everybody down at Monash Gardens for Royal Freemasons, so thank you for being with us and for your time. And we want to say thank you to all the carers there and all the work that they're doing. Well, that's about all we have time for today. Join us for our last full week of the shows, which will be as jam-packed as you would expect. We'll hear more from our favourite mental health experts. We'll have Miss World Australia, Sarah Marshke, back to sing for us again. And as well as a band you're going to love, there's the Starliners. They'll be performing live in the studio next Friday. There'll also be more thank you messages to our frontline care workers, from supercar drivers, an Australian cricketer, and even Real Housewives of Melbourne star Anjali Rao, who introduces us to her two cats, Astro and Cosmo. Oh, Liz, thank you. It froze for a minute. Liz, thank you so much for your time today and for showing us around. And Trish as well, thank you. We really appreciate your time, and thank you for all the great work you're doing. Thank you. Don't miss it. We can't wait to see you again daily next week, or from tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, every day at 2 o'clock. Stay safe, look after each other, and don't forget to nominate your favourite aged care worker on our site, mentalmoments.com.au, or record a message to a loved one that you can't visit in person. Upload it onto our website, and we can thank them for you by sending them some Lindt chocolates and also some books from publisher Hay House, both amazingly generous sponsors of ours, along with HSU, Telstra Health, Hester, we've also got Asset Pay, plus we've got Warren Sanders Insurance, Lindt Chocolates, and also, of course, Hay House Books. Now, over to Johnny Young and the Young Talent team to sing this out with their signature tune, All My Loving. See you tomorrow.
2, 3, 4. Oh, that's nice. Okay, now remember we've got to sway, okay? Oh, lovely. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. Tomorrow I'll miss you. Remember I'll always be true. And then while I'm away, I'll ride home every day, and I'll send all my loving to you, and I'll pretend that I'm kissing those lips I am missing.